Close-quarter combat, often abbreviated as CQC, is one of the oldest and most intense forms of warfare, rooted in humanity's earliest conflicts. Long before the advent of firearms and advanced weaponry, humans fought for survival in the most intimate and brutal manner possible, up close and personal. These engagements were defined by the sheer physicality of battle, where the sharpness of a blade or the weight of a club could determine the difference between life and death. In the earliest days of human conflict, the weapons were primitive but deadly. Clubs fashioned from heavy branches and stone-tipped spears served as the tools of survival, both for hunting and for combat against rival groups. These tools were not just weapons. They were extensions of the warrior's body, designed to amplify strength and inflict maximum damage. Fights often took place in confined spaces such as caves or dense forests, where there was little room to maneuver, forcing combatants into direct confrontation. Here, the outcome relied heavily on the warrior's strength, speed, and tactical cunning. As human societies evolved, so too did their methods of combat. The rise of organized civilizations brought new challenges and innovations to the battlefield. Ancient cultures such as the Spartans and Romans refined close-quarter techniques to an art form, merging individual skill with collective discipline. The Spartans, for instance, were known for their mastery of the phalanx formation, a tightly packed shield wall that allowed warriors to fight side by side with maximum efficiency. Each soldier's short sword, or xiphos, was designed specifically for thrusting in the narrow confines of battle, where slashing movements were impractical. In these close quarters, every move had to be deliberate and every strike precise. Similarly, the Roman legions wielded the gladius, a weapon perfectly suited for the brutal melee of ancient warfare. The gladius was short, sharp, and easy to maneuver in tight spaces, making it an ideal choice for Roman soldiers who often found themselves locked in combat within enemy ranks. Roman military training emphasized the importance of thrusting over slashing, a technique that not only conserved energy, but also inflicted deeper, more fatal wounds. In the chaos of battle, the discipline and training of Roman soldiers often gave them the edge over less organized foes. The development of armor and shields during this time added another layer of complexity to close combat. Warriors had to learn to exploit the gaps in their enemies' defenses while protecting their own vulnerabilities. This led to the creation of specialized weapons designed to pierce or bypass armor, such as the spear for thrusting at exposed areas or the axe for delivering crushing blows. The shield itself became a weapon, used not only for defense but also to bash and unbalance opponents in the heat of combat. As time marched on, the medieval period brought a new dimension to close-quarter combat. Knights clad in heavy armor engaged in brutal melees, wielding maces, flails, and warhammers capable of shattering bones and denting steel. These weapons were designed not just to kill but to incapacitate, breaking through the protective barriers that separated warriors from death. The introduction of polearms like halberds and pikes extended the reach of combatants, but in the frenzy of a melee, swords and daggers still played a critical role. Fighters often carried a secondary weapon, such as a rondel dagger, to deliver the final blow to a fallen opponent. The advent of gunpowder in the early modern era began to reshape the dynamics of close combat. Firearms like muskets and pistols introduced the element of ranged lethality into previously intimate encounters. However, these weapons were slow to reload and often unreliable, necessitating the continued use of melee weapons in close quarters. Bayonets, for instance, became a standard attachment for muskets, turning them into deadly spears when ammunition ran out or enemies closed the distance. The battlefield remained a place where hand-to-hand combat was not only possible, but inevitable. The Napoleonic Wars further highlighted the importance of close-quarter combat, as soldiers frequently engaged in desperate melees during bayonet charges or when storming enemy fortifications. These encounters were marked by their raw ferocity, with soldiers relying on their training and instincts to survive. The introduction of military academies during this period emphasized the importance of discipline and precision, ensuring that troops were prepared for the chaos of close combat. The Industrial Revolution and the technological advancements it brought began to change the face of warfare more drastically. Yet, close-quarter combat remained a constant, particularly in environments where firearms were less effective. Confined spaces like trenches, fortresses, and urban landscapes continued to demand skills honed over centuries of battle. Soldiers had to adapt quickly, wielding whatever tools were at hand to gain an advantage. Improvised weapons, from sharpened spades to makeshift clubs, became symbols of human ingenuity in the face of adversity. Even as warfare entered the modern era, with its focus on long-range engagements and advanced weaponry, close-quarter combat retained its relevance. The nature of battle ensures that no matter how sophisticated the technology, there will always be moments when enemies find themselves face to face. In those moments, it is not the range of a rifle or the precision of a missile that determines the outcome, but the grit, determination, and skill of the combatant. Throughout history, close-quarter combat has been a testament to humanity's resilience and adaptability. It reflects the primal instincts that drive us to survive, as well as the ingenuity that allows us to thrive even in the harshest of circumstances. From the battlefields of antiquity to the trenches of the modern era, the deadly art of close combat remains an enduring and unyielding facet of war. The evolution of weaponry has profoundly shaped the nature of close-quarter combat, turning it into a deadly art honed over centuries. As the environments and demands of warfare changed, so too did the tools used to fight at close range. Each new weapon brought with it a shift in tactics and an increase in lethality, making close-quarters engagements some of the most intense and decisive moments in combat history. One of the most iconic close-quarters weapons of the modern era was the trench knife, born out of necessity during World War I. The brutal nature of trench warfare left soldiers fighting in cramped, muddy, and often chaotic conditions. Traditional weapons like rifles and bayonets were unwieldy in such tight spaces, leading to the development of a weapon that combined practicality with deadly efficiency. The trench knife, with its sharp blade and knuckled grip, was ideal for quick, lethal strikes and also served as a tool for hand-to-hand combat. In the confined trenches, where every movement could mean life or death, the trench knife became a grim but essential companion. As warfare shifted to the sprawling battlefields of World War II, the submachine gun emerged as a revolutionary tool for close-quarters combat. Weapons like the German MP-40 and the American Thompson submachine gun, nicknamed the Tommy gun, became synonymous with urban and close-quarters engagements. Lightweight and capable of firing multiple rounds in rapid succession, these weapons gave soldiers unparalleled firepower in confined environments. Urban battles, where troops had to clear buildings and secure tight spaces, were transformed by the introduction of these compact firearms. A soldier armed with a submachine gun could neutralize threats quickly and effectively, changing the course of engagements in moments. The shotgun also rose to prominence during this period, cementing its reputation as one of the most devastating close-quarters weapons. In the jungles of the Pacific Theater and later in the tunnels of Vietnam, shotguns became a preferred tool for clearing bunkers and dispatching enemies at close range. Their ability to deliver a wide spread of pellets ensured maximum lethality in confined spaces where precision aiming was often impossible. The psychological impact of the shotgun's destructive power was nearly as significant as its physical effects, striking fear into enemies and boosting the confidence of those wielding it. As the 20th century progressed, advancements in weapon technology continued to refine the art of close combat. The introduction of compact assault rifles, such as the M4 carbine, provided soldiers with a versatile weapon capable of both rapid fire and precision in tight quarters. These weapons were designed with adaptability in mind, featuring shorter barrels and collapsible stocks that made them ideal for urban and indoor operations. Special Forces units, in particular, relied on these weapons during hostage rescues, counterterrorism operations, and other high-stakes missions where maneuverability and accuracy were paramount. The 21st century brought even more sophisticated tools to the realm of close-quarters combat. Modular weapons like the FN SCAR allowed operators to customize their firearms to suit specific missions, whether in dense urban environments, narrow corridors, or open fields. Technological advancements such as holographic sights, suppressors, and night vision attachments further enhanced the effectiveness of close-quarters weaponry. These additions allowed soldiers to engage enemies with greater accuracy and stealth, even in low-light conditions or during covert operations. Grenades and explosive devices also became indispensable tools in close-quarters combat. In modern warfare, soldiers often rely on flashbangs, smoke grenades, and fragmentation grenades to disorient and neutralize enemies before entering confined spaces. These tools not only provide a tactical advantage, but also reduce the risks associated with direct confrontations. A well-placed grenade can clear a room or disable a fortified position, paving the way for soldiers to secure an area with minimal resistance. Despite the rise of advanced firearms and explosives, traditional melee weapons have not entirely disappeared from the battlefield. Bayonets, though less common, remain an essential part of many military arsenals, particularly for ceremonial use or as tools of last resort. Combat knives, often multi-purpose in design, are still issued to soldiers for close encounters and practical fieldwork. These weapons serve as a reminder that in the chaos of combat, the fundamentals of close-quarter fighting remain as relevant as ever. In recent years, the integration of technology has further expanded the capabilities of close combat weapons. Advanced targeting systems and laser sights have improved accuracy, while lighter, more durable materials have made weapons easier to handle in tight spaces. Even drones and robotic systems are beginning to play a role in close-quarters engagements, providing soldiers with new tools to assess and neutralize threats. The evolution of close-quarters weaponry reflects the ever-changing nature of warfare. Each innovation has been driven by the need to adapt to new environments and overcome new challenges, ensuring that soldiers remain effective in the most demanding of situations. From the primitive tools of ancient warriors to the sophisticated firearms of modern soldiers, the weapons of close combat have continually reshaped the battlefield, leaving a lasting legacy of ingenuity and devastation. Close-quarters combat has always been shaped by the unique demands of each war, with every major conflict introducing new challenges and forcing combatants to adapt their tactics and tools. The environments, enemies, and objectives differed dramatically across centuries, yet the brutal, intimate nature of close combat remained a constant. Each war left an indelible mark on the evolution of this deadly art. World War I was a defining moment for close-quarters combat. The static, trench-based warfare that characterized the conflict created an environment where soldiers often found themselves face-to-face with their enemies. Trenches were narrow, muddy, and chaotic, leaving little room for maneuvering or retreat. In this claustrophobic setting, weapons like bayonets, trench knives, and even improvised clubs made from spades or rifle stocks became essential. Hand-to-hand encounters were common during trench raids or surprise attacks, and the brutal realities of these engagements tested the resolve and ingenuity of soldiers. The development of grenades, such as the Mills bomb, provided a way to clear trenches and dugouts before engaging directly, but the final assault often required close combat to secure the area. World War II brought an entirely different set of challenges. Urban warfare became a key feature of the conflict, with battles fought in cities like Stalingrad, Berlin, and Manila. Clearing buildings and securing streets demanded a new level of coordination and adaptability. Submachine guns like the Soviet PPSH-41 and the American Thompson became invaluable in this environment, providing the firepower needed to overwhelm enemies in close quarters. Grenades and flamethrowers were also heavily utilized to clear fortified positions or bunkers. The psychological strain of moving through enemy-held cities, knowing that every corner or doorway could conceal a threat, added to the tension and intensity of these battles. Soldiers had to be constantly vigilant, their survival dependent on quick reactions and precise teamwork. In the Pacific theater, the dense jungles of islands like Guadalcanal and Iwo Jima created a different kind of close-quarters combat. Visibility was often limited, and ambushes were a constant threat. Japanese forces, skilled in guerrilla tactics, frequently launched banzai charges that brought them directly into hand-to-hand combat with Allied soldiers. In these environments, shotguns and pistols proved highly effective, allowing troops to respond quickly to sudden attacks. The use of flamethrowers to clear caves and bunkers became a grim necessity, highlighting the extreme conditions soldiers faced in jungle warfare. The confined spaces and relentless nature of these engagements left a lasting impact on those who fought there, shaping their perceptions of war. The Vietnam War further pushed the boundaries of close-quarters combat, taking it into underground tunnels and dense foliage. The Viet Cong's use of an extensive tunnel network forced American soldiers into a new kind of warfare. Tunnel rats, specialized troops trained to navigate these confined spaces, carried only pistols, knives, and flashlights as they explored and cleared the enemy's subterranean strongholds. Every movement in these tunnels was fraught with danger, from booby traps to sudden encounters with the enemy. The dark, cramped environment tested the mental and physical endurance of these soldiers, making close-quarters combat an intensely personal and harrowing experience. In more recent conflicts, such as those in Iraq and Afghanistan, urban warfare once again took center stage. The nature of modern warfare, with its focus on counterinsurgency and precision, required new approaches to close combat. Soldiers often found themselves clearing houses and navigating narrow streets, engaging enemies hidden among civilian populations. The use of breaching tools, flashbang grenades, and compact firearms like the M4 carbine became standard in these environments. Close-quarters engagements in urban settings demanded not only skill with weapons, but also careful judgment to minimize collateral damage and protect civilians. Modern Special Forces units, such as the Navy SEALs, British SAS, and Russian Spetsnaz, have elevated close-quarters combat to an art form. Their training emphasizes speed, precision, and adaptability, allowing them to dominate in confined spaces during high-stakes missions. Hostage rescues, counterterrorism operations, and raids on fortified positions often bring these elite units into direct contact with their enemies. Advanced tactics, cutting-edge weaponry, and years of rigorous training ensure that they can operate effectively in even the most challenging environments. Their mastery of close combat serves as a testament to how far the art has evolved. Across these different wars and eras, close-quarters combat has remained a defining element of warfare. The environments may change, the tactics may evolve, and the weapons may grow more sophisticated, but the core principles of courage, adaptability, and determination endure. From the muddy trenches of World War I to the urban battlefields of modern conflicts, close-quarters combat continues to test the limits of human resilience and ingenuity, shaping the course of history one engagement at a time. The future of close-quarters combat is a fascinating blend of tradition and innovation, where time-tested principles meet cutting-edge technology. As warfare continues to evolve, close combat remains a critical aspect of modern military strategy, and the tools and tactics associated with it are undergoing rapid transformation. The integration of artificial intelligence, robotics, and advanced weaponry is reshaping how close-quarters engagements are fought, while the fundamental human element persists, ensuring that the essence of this deadly art is not lost. One of the most significant advancements in close-quarters combat is the rise of robotics and unmanned systems. Small, agile robots equipped with cameras, sensors, and even weapons are becoming indispensable in urban and confined environments. These machines can scout ahead, map unknown areas, and even engage enemies before soldiers enter a room or corridor. In addition to reducing risks for human soldiers, these robots are capable of operating in extreme conditions, from collapsed buildings to toxic environments. Their presence on the battlefield is revolutionizing how close-quarters engagements are approached, providing commanders with new tools to assess and neutralize threats with precision. Artificial intelligence, AI, is another game-changer in the realm of close combat. AI-driven systems can analyze environments in real time, identify potential threats, and provide soldiers with critical information faster than ever before. For example, augmented reality, AR, goggles are being developed to overlay tactical data onto a soldier's field of vision, marking enemy positions, highlighting potential hazards, and offering suggested routes for engagement. These technologies enhance situational awareness, allowing troops to make split-second decisions in the chaos of close-quarters combat. While the weapons themselves remain in human hands, the ability to process vast amounts of information in real time offers a significant advantage. The weapons used in close combat are also evolving to meet the demands of modern warfare. Compact, modular firearms designed for versatility and adaptability are becoming the norm. These weapons can be quickly reconfigured for different scenarios, from urban engagements to confined tunnel operations. Suppressors, advanced optics, and laser targeting systems enhance accuracy and stealth, while lightweight materials improve maneuverability in tight spaces. Even melee weapons are seeing advancements, with the introduction of durable materials and ergonomic designs to maximize their effectiveness in hand-to-hand combat. Non-lethal weapons are gaining prominence as well, particularly in situations where minimizing collateral damage is critical. Stun guns, tasers, and other non-lethal tools are being developed to incapacitate enemies without causing permanent harm. These weapons are especially valuable in hostage rescue missions, crowd control, and counterterrorism operations, where precision and restraint are paramount. The growing emphasis on non-lethal options reflects the changing nature of warfare, where the line between combatants and civilians is often blurred. Exoskeletons and wearable technology are another area of innovation that promises to transform close-quarters combat. These systems enhance a soldier's strength, endurance, and agility, allowing them to carry heavier loads, move faster, and sustain longer periods of intense activity. In confined spaces, where every ounce of effort counts, these enhancements can make a significant difference. Exoskeletons also provide protection against impacts and explosions, reducing the risk of injury in high-stakes engagements. The environments in which close-quarters combat takes place are also shifting. Urbanization and the increasing complexity of cities mean that future conflicts are likely to be fought in sprawling metropolitan areas, with dense populations and intricate infrastructure. Navigating these environments requires a new level of adaptability and precision. Military forces are developing specialized training programs to prepare soldiers for the unique challenges of urban combat, from room-clearing techniques to vertical engagements in multi-story buildings. Advanced simulations and virtual reality (VR) systems are playing a key role in this training, providing realistic scenarios that help soldiers develop the skills they need to succeed. Despite these technological advancements, the human element remains at the core of close-quarters combat. No amount of technology can replace the instincts, courage, and adaptability of a trained soldier in the heat of battle. The chaotic and unpredictable nature of close combat ensures that human judgment and decision-making will always play a critical role. This is why rigorous training and preparation remain as important as ever, ensuring that soldiers are ready to face the challenges of the modern battlefield. As we look to the future, it's clear that close-quarters combat will continue to evolve, shaped by the dual forces of tradition and innovation. The principles of courage, precision, and adaptability that have defined this deadly art for centuries will remain, even as the tools and tactics change. From ancient warriors wielding swords to modern soldiers equipped with AI and robotics, the essence of close combat endures, a relentless and intimate struggle that has defined warfare throughout human history and will continue to do so in the years to come.